What's going on, beautiful people of the world? How are you all doing? I am doing well. Welcome back to my channel, Life in Shambles. I want to thank everyone for the time you took to watch my videos and all your comments and likes. It really does mean a lot to me and to the channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about, I've been going back and forth in my head. Should I talk about the good times I had as a child or not? Because my channel is for all, yes, but the main purpose is to try to reach out to anyone struggling in the world or addict community or whatever. I did have some good times with my parents. It wasn't all bad. And before people are like, oh, well, then maybe you're considered a spoiled brat who didn't always get their way. So why did you go to drugs if you had good times? Well, the bad times overweighed the good. Overpowered? Yeah. Whatever. So anyway, I want to talk about after everything happened and I saw myself headed down the wrong crowd and the wrong path. Unfortunately, this has a lot to do with old wounds because it talks about an abusive ex of mine. He left a lot of trauma, a lot of mental health issues because of it. And everyone is like, why did you stay? You know, looking back, I still don't have the answer. I really don't. And I know there's so many people that stay. My heart goes with you and just, I don't even, that's a whole can of worms that I'm not ready to get into. But basically, my mom worked somewhere and she was like, hey, there's a boy your age. You might want to get to know him, blah, blah, blah. So I did. And it was, Prince Charming at first. You know, this swept me off my feet. I was fresh out of high school. It was my first year out of high school. And everything seemed great. You know, he had a place and a vehicle. And it was, yeah. So, with all that being said, of course, what did I do? I packed my bags and I moved in. And I found out prior to that he was selling weed and everything. And when I moved in, it was a whole new ball game. I wasn't used to it because it was a lot of traffic coming in and out, like bags weighed everywhere. It was ridiculous. But for some reason, I started liking it. Like I kind of liked the lifestyle. It was like, you know, bad, but it wasn't too bad because it was just marijuana at the time. And it was a lot, and we made a lot of money because I would be starting to sell during the day when he would be at work. I would be selling weed, and that was how I made money. That was how I survived. Am I proud of it? No, but this is what the channel is about, so I kind of have to talk about it. So, with all of that, I thought life was great. Life was wonderful. You know, this is going to be great. And then it started changing. One night, he went to, raise his hand to me, and I'm like, what are you doing? And, of course, I'm sorry, and, yeah, I stayed. But that was the first, time it ever happened. And then I was hanging out with my one friend at the time, a good friend of mine, she was, and we went and picked up cocaine from a friend of his, and we came back to the apartment and we did it. And I don't really remember what made me really like it, because I don't really, thinking back, I hated how I felt, as I would call it, the get stuck, where you would do an upper of the drugs and you would just sit there and you would feel stuck. Hated that. And I felt that way. And I remember wanting more. I didn't really know what fiending was then. I was so new to everything. I was so young. I would have been 18, 19. I would have been 19. Yeah, I would have been 19 when this all took place. And then, the wanting more, and then it went right out. I just remember feeling miserable. I just wanted to go to bed. But that was my first experience. And I felt gross. Like, wanting another one, I'm like, why do I feel this way? Like, I guess anxious. It was, ugh. But I had fun too while the high was going. It was fun. It was amazing. I liked it. Like, I could have cleaned a bathroom with a toothbrush. Like, I could play cards forever. Like, I liked it. Ugh, it makes my stomach turn now, but yeah. And it takes a lot out of me to get these videos out because, like I said, I was writing the book called The Garbage Can Addict that explains a lot, but it was different because I was able to just write it down. Nobody saw it but me. This, I'm putting it out there for the world to see. So this is actually very, very hard on me. Yeah, I want to explain things the best I can because well, anyway, back on track. It's really gut-wrenching to me to get all these words out, but I'm trying to help somebody, some addict out there, and explain that, yeah, it might have been good at the time. It was still just, it was nasty. It was gross. So that was that. And then he started selling the cocaine too. And I didn't feel right. I felt like it went too far, I guess. And of course, we fought about it. The violence still wasn't there yet, but it was his way or the highway. This is my place. This is what I'm doing. This is how I make my money. If you don't like it, there's the door. And then my dumbass stayed. And I knew I could get out. I could have went home. That doesn't happen yet. I can't. Sorry, jumping the gun there. It's so hard because I have ADHD, so my brain is trying to like put all these pieces together exactly in order, which they're my life, so you think this would be easy, but my brain's like this, and this, and this, and I'm trying, and my anxiety, it's a lot. But it came to the dangerous game when it was selling cocaine, and it was bad. And I knew it was bad. And then I had to start doing it like I did with the marijuana, and that one made me feel really uncomfortable. It was just weird, and it was people calling the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, fiending for more, and it was horrible. We had to like disconnect the phone, and I would get so mad because, yeah, I was doing it, but like, I wasn't used to people calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning. If you called me at 3 o'clock in the morning back in high school, someone broke up with their boyfriend, they can't sleep and they're crying. Like, I wasn't used to people calling at 3 o'clock in the morning for more drugs. That was completely new to me. So it spent a lot of time with the back and forth with that for quite some time. And then it started getting to be more, oh yes, back on track. Another thing was he slowly distanced me from my friends and my family. And I didn't notice it at the time, looking, of course. But my best friend would question me, like, he won't let me hang out with you. Why can't I come over? What are you doing? You're acting weird. You're acting shady. And I remember I didn't want to tell her that, oh, by the way, my house is selling this and this, like, and I had foot traffic left and right, and I couldn't tell her. So, of course, it distanced us quite a bit. And, why are you on the phone with her? Why are you doing this? You're on the phone forever. Like, I wasn't able to talk to her. So he was slowly cutting me off from my friends. And my parents, I think my parents knew that I was acting weird and different. They didn't really know why. They didn't really know what was going on. And this is another thing. When I was growing up, I was against everything. My dad smoked cigarettes, and I would tell him, that causes cancer. You're going to get cancer. Stop smoking cigarettes. I was so against drugs. When I grow up, I'm never going to do drugs. I wanted to be a teacher. Now I'm a homeschooling mom. Yay! But I had dreams, and I never wanted to do anything bad. And, I seen a little bit of, like, my dad's side of the family. Some of them drank, so I hated alcohol. But I hated alcohol, like, when my dad would go back in our cabin in the woods, like for deer season, or, him and my family, they would, have a couple drinks or whatever. And my dad would call my mom, and I hated it. He would act goofy, I didn't really understand. But I was like, well, is Dad going to drink again? Is Dad going to drink again? And he was never nasty when he drank. Like, there was never anything bad. But I didn't like it back then either. But anyway, so my parents definitely didn't, piece anything together. But it was slowly coming to the point of, hey, we gotta, you gotta get off the phone. I got people coming. You gotta stop talking to your dad and he's gonna find out you're trying to keep this from your parents. Weird things like that. He would slowly distance me from my parents. So that was going on. It was an all around bad situation, and I should have left then and got out. But I look at it this way. Everything that I went through, the blessing of being able to get this story out there, to be able to, I'm trying to explain my experience on these drugs to maybe if someone's curious, or maybe like you're in this, like there is a way out. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, Amanda, for using that. The experience, and to show them that, you keep going down this path, like it just leads to destruction. Like, this isn't bragging, but I said this to my husband the other day. I said, I literally should be dead from the crap I've been through and the drugs I've used. And I am blessed to be sitting here being able to tell a story, but the mental health problems that I have, and my mind is still screwed up from the use and everything. Like, yeah, it sucks. But, I'm trying to hope to just put it down and try to reach out and get some help. Any recovering addict, like, even if you have an hour clean, that is huge, like absolutely huge. And to know that anytime you have your clean time means the absolute world. And, I'm trying to let you know, like I said, the destruction of each one because each drug causes a shitstorm from hell. That is for sure. And I should be dead, and I'm living proof that you can get clean. So I am probably going to close this video a little bit soon, because after this whole section of things opens up a whole new mess of drugs. So I kind of want to just stick with the basics of the beginning of all of that. But know that this part of the lifestyle lasted about a good solid 3 months before it turned to complete chaos and a mess. Oh, I got one more thing to add. It had just so happened, because this is actually relevant and later of this story of who I call the idiot, but of the guy and my ex. His apartment was right across the street of the guy who the guy who my mom cheated on my father with. Yeah, so I would literally see her car pull into his driveway while she was being back with my father, and her car would be parked over there. And he knew about it. But that's relevant later in this detail, because he actually tries to save me later on in this whole mess. But I think I'm going to wrap that up. So I did end up losing my friend for a while. Her and I stopped talking for the longest time. She crawls back into my life in and out, and now we're not speaking again, and probably never will. However, so the parents, distancing myself from the parents, and him kind of going down that, hey, you need to get off the phone, you need to get off the phone. And I never had my parents come over. I think my mom came over when I first had moved in, but I would never invite them over for dinner. And they probably found that weird, because most people that move out and they're starting a life would have their parents over for dinner. They never questioned me, but now I'm thinking back, why didn't they ever ask me why I don't have them over for dinner? But yeah, it was a lot of chaos, a lot of late nights, and losing sleep and also crashing off of coke if you do a lot and then you're having a horrible crash. It's not as bad as some other drugs, but you just feel like crap. You want more, but you want to go to bed, and you just feel, like I said before, you feel nasty, you just feel gross. And your eyes are bugged out of your sockets. Like, it's terrible. But in the meantime, when you're high and you're feeling it, and if you enjoy it, you're feeling great. You feel like you're on top of the world, and it's a shitstorm. It really is. But, yeah, so welcome to the shit show of Life in Shambles. And I want to thank you again for everyone supporting this channel. It means the absolute world to me, and I hope you all have a beautiful life, beautiful people of the world. Bye!